Is your child's choice of clothing just driving you crazy? Is your daughter's shorts too short? Or maybe your son's pants are like down along their knees. Does your child seem to mix up their gender roles when they get dressed? Or does your child's fashion sense embarrass you in public? Or maybe you just have the pickiest kid when it comes to their clothing choice. Well, I'm so excited to have on today Jessica Montour, a wardrobe guru since 2013. She is founder of Fashion Forward, which styles and shops for clients of all ages. Jessica is a mother of 3 boys, and she understands that personal style is individual and a form of self-expression. Today, I'm really excited to pick her brain about what parents can do to minimize the clothing battles and still support our kids. So, thank you for joining me today, Jessica. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm going to dive in right away and get started because I'm so excited about this. How can parents support their children through their clothing choices, even if we just do not agree with what they want to wear?
So as parents, we've been there. We're headed out. We're in a rush. We're short on time. And here comes Junior down the stairs in his Spider-Man pajamas. And he is just so excited to wear his Spider-Man pajamas to brunch. And as parents, we're like, oh, we're already short on time. It's a tough situation. But, you know, there are times that we have to just kind of support our kids. And I think what they wear is not the biggest battle that we're gonna face with them. And it's real important that we support them in what they're wearing because it's a form of self-expression. It's a second set of skin, really. If you think about it, what we put on is a second set of skin. So our kids have to be comfortable in what they're wearing. And we have to guide them and coach them and not just be really controlling and rigid about what they're wearing every day.
I completely agree. We have to pick our battles. And for me personally, too, as a parent, that's not really a battle that I pick. However, there are times when they're going to wear something that's completely unacceptable for the event that we're going to. How do you suggest that we confront our kids when they're wearing something and we're just like, oh, no, you can't do that today?
When there's something that's a really important event, we need to take the time to have the conversation with our kids about where we're going. I think a lot of times as parents, we're just running and gunning and we're like, we got to go, we got this event, we got that event. So we need to have the conversation ahead of time. Like, hey, we're going to all get together for a really important event on Sunday morning. It's going to be brunch and all of us are going to be there and families coming in from out of town. And so it's a really special event. It's at a really nice restaurant. So we want to present ourselves that way. I think as parents, we forget, maybe we don't forget, we're just so busy, let's face it, to have those conversations for those types of events. Otherwise, if you're just allowing your kids to dress themselves, you got to kind of prepare yourself for whatever might walk down the stairs. So, you know, it's just a matter of just having that conversation, especially if you have a child who is kind of out there with what they're wearing or what they want to wear. One of my boys, he was like a walking billboard. He had probably 10 different colors on, red, blue, and white shorts with a green shirt and a purple hat. But to him, it was all of his favorite things. So he was coming downstairs in his best, but none of it matched.
Yes.
So we just have to kind of have that conversation with our children ahead of time and not when we're trying to just get out the door.
And how do you shop for a child that is just so picky about what they want to wear? And pickiness comes in a lot of different fashions.
You know, first of all, I don't think there's anybody that is too picky. I think there's just some people that know more than others and are more refined in their style with what they like and what they don't like. What I've experienced as a parent is a lot of times with my boys, it wasn't a matter of them being picky. It was a matter of comfort for them. One of my boys has, you know, wide little Flintstone feet is what I call him, because his feet are thick and his feet are wide and he has a high arch. And I could never get his socks right. And it was a battle every morning. He wore a uniform to school. That was the easy part. But his socks drove him nuts. And we went months arguing in the morning about his socks. Well, what it was his feet are so tight in his shoes already that the socks that I kept buying, I bought so many different types of socks, none of them worked. What it was the seam at the toe was too thick, and it was just really painful for him throughout the day. So finally, light bulb, as a parent, I had this conversation and we drilled it down to what was really going on with that sock inside his shoe. And so I went out and I bought him girl socks, and they were just like the kind of the lower ankle socks, but it was really a lot thinner. And you can't find very thin socks for boys unless they're dress socks, but these were just the basic white at the ankle sock, and no more battles. No more battles with socks. And it was really that simple, but it was painful for months and months and months.
That's
so
so
I would just say,
brilliant.
Dive into it and have the conversation with your kiddos.
That's so brilliant how you brainstormed with him and you talked to him, figured out the problem, and then was able to work with him. That's awesome. Another thing that I'd like to ask you is some families really struggle with their child mixing up some gender roles. Not every family, but there are families that do struggle with that because maybe their son wants to wear pink and sparkles, or maybe their daughter just does not want to wear that Easter dress, and for some families it's not a big deal, but for others it could be a battle. How do you suggest that parents navigate through that kind of very sensitive terrain?
This is such a very real topic, and I know that there's a bit of a generation gap in how parents versus the children think when it comes to gender roles. I feel like when I was growing up, it was very clear. Boys wore blue, girls wore pink, baby showers were set up that way, and it was very gender specific on the boys are going to do sports and the girls are going to love unicorns and tea parties, and it's not that way anymore. And I think first and foremost, we need to make sure that we don't judge. Okay, we need to make sure that we're supporting our kids as they're going through, maybe it's a transition or maybe it's a phase. It's going to be different for every single child, but more than anything, we need to support our kids. And so how do we do that? Well, it's gotten a lot easier because as I'm shopping for people ages 5 to 85, there's a lot of nice pieces that are not very gender specific. So there's more structure to some of the girl pieces where maybe it's a collar and a button-up shirt with some buttons. And as far as the little boys that maybe like a little bit of extra flair with their clothing, there's leopard print out there in boys' clothing and shoes that is, is to be celebrated, really. And I think a lot of brands are getting better at making it easier for us as parents to support and celebrate our children who maybe like to dance outside of the black and white of what gender dressing is, and be in that gray area. So I think we're going to see that more and more, where it's not just the boys department and the girls department. There might be a unisex department, and you do see that gray area as you're shopping at certain retailers. So I think first and foremost is we have to support our children, and we have to make sure we're not judging them, because if they don't feel like they can come to us with something so simple as, I'm not wearing a dress, there's just no way I'm wearing a dress, we have to be like, okay, where can we meet in the middle, And you see it even on the red carpet. You see celebrities wearing jumpsuits on the red carpet or pantsuits on the red carpet. So I think it's a beautiful thing. I think fashion is such a wonderful way to mirror the times that we're in, whether it's society or just the environment that we're living in, and it's totally fine. And you'll get through that with your children to the point where they're going to eventually start shopping for themselves anyway, so you won't have to worry about it.
And one of the things that you mentioned, I just want to reiterate to our audience again, is that fashion and the clothing choices that our kids make is really that second skin. And to support them in what they're wearing is actually really, really important. It's a reflection of whatever is happening inside of them. And if you're trying to take that away or to stifle it in any way, you're inadvertently actually telling your child, no, 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 I don't like that part of you. Let me hide it. And that's huge. For those parents out there who haven't realized that before, that's what you're saying. Now, I'm not talking about inappropriate clothing, but just in general, their style and what the things that they want to wear on a daily basis. So thank you for bringing that up, because it was an aha moment for me. And I think I knew it way deep down inside before, but it's like, oh yes, that's so, so important to support and try to navigate with them. And if I don't agree, or if I'm too embarrassed, it's a conversation that has to be had with the child to find a middle ground so that you're still supporting them in whoever they are.
That's so great. You nailed it. You nailed exactly what it is that I do and why I do it. I'm a wardrobe guru, which means that I'm here to shed light on people's wardrobes. But really, it goes deeper than that for me. It's more about how can my clients be an authentic version of themselves so that when they step out their door, they're confident, they feel good, they're comfortable, and they could just be themselves. And I know there's trends in fashion and things to follow, but really at the end of the day, it's a person's confidence that's gonna outshine anything that they have on. So really, as a wardrobe consultant, personal shopper, wardrobe guru, that's my goal with each and every client that I work with.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jessica. If people want to get a hold of you to either hire you for your services or even just to pick your brain, how can they contact you?
Well, I have a website that links up to all of my social media and kind of what I do. I can be found at jessicamontour.com. And I do everything from closet purges to organization, wardrobe consulting, special events, custom clothing. And so really it's just a matter of what does the client need and how can we get them there.
Thank you, Jessica, for joining me today. I really appreciate all of your expertise, all of your insight. It was awesome. If you'd like to get a hold of Jessica, her link is right here on the video and down in the comments below. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Christina. I think it's so great the work that you do.